Extreme Rules Weekend is here! I'm Matt Carlins, and this is just pro wrestling news for Friday, September 24th, 2021. This update is brought to you by IndieWrestling.us.
WWE.
Tonight's SmackDown is the last stop before Sunday's Extreme Rules pay-per-view. There is a title match being promoted for tonight's show. King Nakamura defending the Intercontinental Championship against Apollo Crews. Also set for tonight, Liv Morgan versus Zelina Vega. There's a new number one contender for Ilja Dragunov's NXT UK Championship. It's A-Kid. He won a three-way over Rampage Brown and Nathan Frazer on Thursday's episode. A-Kid pinned Frazer to secure the win. Also on the show, Wolfgang beat Teoman in the semifinals of the Heritage Cup number one Contender Tournament. Wolfgang will meet Noam Dar in the final. Also, Jinny pinned Isla Dawn after a timely distraction by Jinny's lackey, Joseph Connors.
AEW.
AEW presents a special 2-hour episode of Rampage tonight from Arthur Ashe Stadium in New York City. CM Punk wrestles on TV for the first time in over 7 years as he goes up against Powerhouse Hobbs. The Super Clique reunites in the ring. The Young Bucks and Adam Cole take on Christian Cage and Jurassic Express. Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston versus Lance Archer and Minoru Suzuki in a lights-out match. Chris Jericho and Jake Hager versus Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page. The AEW Tag Champs, the Lucha Brothers, team with Santana and Ortiz against the Hardy Family Offices, Private Party, and the Butcher and the Blade. Plus Anna Jay versus Penelope Ford. Dynamite will move to its new broadcast home on TBS on January 5th, 2022, but Rampage will remain on TNT. Also Thursday, AEW announced the signing of Satnam Singh, the first ever player from India to be drafted into the NBA. Singh stands 7'3" tall.
New Japan Pro Wrestling.
New Japan's G1 Climax tournament rolls on Friday with matches from the B block. Thursday's A block matches saw Zack Sabre Jr. submit the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion Shingo Takagi. Also, Kota Ibushi beat Tomohiro Ishii. In a battle of Bullet Club members, Kenta forced Yujiro Takahashi to tap out to his game-over submission hold. The two exchanged a too sweet after the match. Plus, Great-O-Khan pinned Toru Yano with the Eliminator. Tangaloa pinned Yuji Nagata in a non-tournament match. This was to account for Tetsuya Naito withdrawing from the G1 due to injury.
Impact Wrestling.
A legendary name from Impact Wrestling's history returned on last night's show. Christopher Daniels ran out at the end of the show to save Christian Cage and Josh Alexander from Ace Austin and Madman Fulton. Daniels will now face Fulton on next week's Impact. Alexander had just defeated Austin in last night's main event. The show opened with Alexander formally relinquishing the X Division Championship. He has invoked Option C for a shot at Christian's Impact World title at Bound for Glory. The tournament to crown a new X Division champ begins on next week's Impact and will culminate at Bound for Glory. There will be a Call Your Shot gauntlet match at Bound for Glory. Rich Swann and Brian Myers are already in. Swann and Willie Mack beat Myers and VSK last night. Swann pinned VSK. Mickie James will challenge Deonna Purrazzo for the Knockouts Championship at Bound for Glory. That match was made official last night. Also last night, David Finlay pinned Hikuleo after a stunner and a roll-up. Rohit Raju used a roll-up to pin Chelsea Green after Raj Singh returned to Impact and provided a timely distraction. Laredo Kid beat John Skyler on Before the Impact.
Ring of Honor.
This weekend's Ring of Honor TV has a 4-way showdown. Brody King versus Kenny King versus Jay Lethal versus Shane Taylor. Plus PJ Black versus Brian Johnson in a Pure Rules match. Major League Wrestling announced 2 more Opera Cup opening round matches for its Fightland show in Philadelphia on October 2nd. Alex Shelley versus TJP, and Bobby Fish versus Lee Moriarty. Also, Warhorse will make his MLW debut on that show. That's just pro wrestling news for Friday, September 24th. Our next update comes your way tomorrow morning, so please rate, review, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss a thing. I'm Matt Carlins. Thank you for listening.
This show is a member of the Sorgatron Media Podcast Network. Find out more at sorgatronmedia.com.